Hello everyone, welcome back to Major Hi-Fi. I'm Luke. So we have just gotten a brand new headphone from Meze Audio. I have not even opened it. So this headphone, I'm assuming it's pronounced the LIRIC, L-I-R-I-C. Hope I'm saying it right because I have no reference since it's just come out and there are no reviews or anything yet. It runs for $2,000. This is supposed to be a portable isodynamic closed back headphone. It is their first closed back in this higher price range. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking and just open this thing up. Alrighty then, so here we have the actual box. Not the simplest package I've ever opened. All right, there we go. All right, we're not done yet. Here we go. Oh my God. Okay, this golden lettering. Oh, wow. All right, very pretty. Points for that. I guess I'll do it this way. Oh, wait, I can't even see it. Ooh, okay. All right, so we have a cable in here. This comes with a dual 3.5 millimeter adapter, and then we've got, looks like a 3.5 millimeter to dual 3.5 millimeter cable in addition, and those both come in this little leather case. And then here are the headphones themselves. Let me close this box. I don't believe there's anything else in here. All right, so here's the case. Ooh, all right. Okay, these are very pretty right off the bat. They've got this really plush, extra plush headband, and when I press on it, it feels sort of almost like a Tempur-Pedic material of some sort. And then these ear pads are, I guess, pretty similar to the ones I've felt on their other headphones. They're super soft, super deep too. But it looks like we have a second cable in here that's actually a bit longer. Or no, this one's shorter, sorry. We've got a shorter cable in here. And the whole inside, let me show you. Just grabbed a stand for that. Do not want to lay it flat on the table whatsoever. The whole inside of this case has this fuzzy plush material. Once again, hard to really show it on camera. No, it's picking it up. So that's nice. They're never gonna get scratched in here. Not that most cases would, but it's a nice addition. I forget if their other cases have this inside of it or not, but I'm a fan of it. Anyways though, you're probably like, why are we talking about the case? Let's talk about the headphone. All right, so obviously I do not know what it sounds like yet. We're gonna get to that, but it's got a similar build to their other headphones in terms of the way that the yokes kind of sit on the headband. They're very flexible, very just free moving. Okay, I should put them on, shouldn't I? Okay, this is nice, this is good. I can actually feel that extra soft headband on top of my head. It's not just like lost on my hair. And that is a nice headband, and the ear pads are doing the trick like I thought they would. This has a firmer grip than their other headphones, like firmer than the Meze Elite for sure, probably in part because it's not as wide of a build it seems, but dang, these are comfortable. I mean, I would hope they would be. I would expect them to be, but I'm happy that they are. All right, so far I'm liking what I'm seeing, but I want to find out how this thing sounds. So I'm going to go on ahead and listen to this for a while, and then I will come back and we will film the rest of the video. All right, everyone, welcome back. So new day, same shirt, different shirt, same color, not the same shirt, new day. Headphone, LIRIC, it has been listened to by me for quite a good minute here. So I am ready to talk about this headphone in more detail now that I know more about it, both technically and sonically. So let's go on ahead and first of all go over the tech specs of this. So the LIRIC is a portable, closed-back, planar magnetic headphone featuring technology from Renaro Isodynamics. They also helped with the design of the Meze Elite. I will link to my review of that below. The LIRIC features a scaled-down isodynamic hybrid array Meze4 driver along with a quote-unquote pressure equalization system that is meant to improve airflow, ear cup chamber pressure, and allow for an airy, transparent sound. All right, so first things first is output. These, you're gonna want an amp for. I don't really imagine anybody getting these is going to use them without an amp anyways, but I figured I would clarify that you're going to want one if you don't already have one. You're gonna need an amp for these. They are not the hardest to drive headphone by any means. You could use them without an amp if you wanted to for one reason or another. You'll just need to push the volume a good amount, like kind of all the way sometimes if the master is not super loud of the song you're listening to. If you use an amp, they're not gonna need a lot of volume. Like once they're amplified, they're good to go. But they definitely can benefit from that power boost. But they don't need the most powerful amp you've ever used. They don't need some crazy amplification. Just whatever you've got will be enough to boost it up to where it needs to be. And they will definitely thank you for that extra drive. Okay, so Soundstage. These things have a beautiful, incredible soundstage. It's gotta be one of the most precise, just immersive, realistic sound stages on any closed back headphone. I feel like I have had a lot of abnormally wide closed back headphones on this channel from companies like Kennerton that do a great job of creating abnormal width for a closed back, and this meets that same standard of having abnormal width for a closed back. It's one of the widest closed backs I've heard. But to me, what's more impressive about it, since I've already heard the sort of like wide closed back thing, is that this has sound separation and layering unlike any closed back I've heard. Even the really wide ones still struggle to meet the same standard that we get with an open back sometimes. And of course, none of them are going to be the exact same. I mean, if you want an open back, buy an open back. But if you want a closed back and you still want some of those perks you would get with an open back headphone, it's nice to see technology improving to give us a bit more of the best of both worlds, and this is definitely a new level. So there is just incredible sound separation. You can hear the song sort of fluctuating and moving in so many new ways. There were so many songs on these where I was able to feel sort of harmonies coming in and out and vocal layers that I didn't know were there, that I didn't realize were placed in certain areas. I was feeling instruments all in these very precise locations. It's like your attention is constantly kind of demanded. You're constantly looped back in as this headphone sort of explores different corners of the stereo field constantly. It's like sort of constantly isolating and bringing out new little pockets, you know, just scattered about. It's really just one of those incredibly done sound stages. And definitely does meet that Meze standard that I feel like they've set for themselves with some of their models that are way more expensive than just $2,000. So yeah, these are just chock full of ear candy, completely separated to the highest of heavens, and I feel like I can't say much more about the soundstage than that it is basically imaging the way it's supposed to be done, and that there is no other closed back quite like it. All right, so low end. By the way, I'm gonna be raving about these. If you couldn't already tell, I'm quite impressed, but you're gonna have to keep watching to see why and how. So yeah, the low end on these, once again, like chef's kiss. It is so balanced. It is such a great sort of mixture of the sub range and the upper lows. Everything feels so evenly distributed. It does reach pretty deep. I mean, this has a low end boost on it and it's got a rumble to it, but to me it's a healthy rumble that does not overwhelm anything else. It feels like a tasteful low end that does at the end of the day make for a very intimate, realistic experience. If you're bass averse, these are not gonna be your cup of tea because they do take the impact, the attack, you know, the body and really bring it to the front of the house. It becomes a definite attention grabber, the low end on these. It's not something that kind of fades into the background. It does command the mix a lot of the times, not overwhelm it, but it does really, you know, drive things in a noticeable way. But for the most part, it doesn't make the sound feel unnatural. It feels like a organic, natural sounding headphone with a low end leaning sound. You know, like for example, listening to the Nucleo Soul album, Mother, which I highly recommend. Favorite album right now, simply amazing R&B stuff. And the LIRIC with this album just took the bass lines and spread them super wide. It reached deep down. It let all those vibrational textures really come to life and just made for this beautiful stereo spectrum sound bath of low end that I found to be quite blissful. the mid-range on the Lyric is interesting to me because overall this headphone to me has a bit of a crowd-pleasing mentality, which sounds like a negative. It's not. It has a sound that's very versatile, that is not going to, rub anyone the wrong way. And I don't think the mid-range is a departure from this, but it is a little bit less kind of neutralized, I feel like, than the rest of it, and that the high mid has a bit of a bite to it. And this is a not uncommon kind of thing for a headphone to be very even keel and then take a little bit of a more distinct edge in the high mid area. That tends to be a sort of make or break area of the frequency spectrum. So there is a pretty clear boost in that 1 to 2 kilohertz section, and that's going to add a noticeable edge, a noticeable bite, as you might expect. At higher volumes with like really resonant voices, for example, the new Remy Wolf album, which is called, I think, Juno. Love that album too. Also great pop music, some R&B influence in that too. But she has a very resonant voice, and at higher volumes, sometimes lyrics struggled to kind of contain that and control it. Also, what headphone doesn't struggle with resonant voices at high volumes? It's kind of an impossible task to an extent. But it's something to be mindful of if you have super sensitive ears and your favorite singers all have super resonant voices and you play the music loud. I don't think it means this headphone's off the table, but it's something to note. For me, I had very few qualms with this more intensified mid-range. Overall, to me, it felt like it brought the listener closer to the music, and it allowed sort of detail and presence to really flourish. The low mid is a bit more subdued. It gives the music more room to breathe. This balances out the more intensified high mid. Very typical decision to make when you're going to give that bite in the upper mid area. So these definitely don't go for a hyper warm sound. Maybe a little bit more low mid could be added here and there at times. You could also EQ it, as always, though I feel like these are not super in need of any tweaking really, but also just if you run them through a warmer amp or something like that, that'll be just enough. It could maybe use just a sprinkling extra of warmth because of the fact that that low mid takes a little bit of a back seat. The mid-range on these kind of reminds me of like a Focal Stelia or something like that, that does have a little bit more kind of grit to it in the high mid area, but it's still overall does not interrupt the balance of the headphone. It does not stick out like a sore thumb. It sticks out kind of like the way that you would want it to. All right, so high end. These are a pretty bright headphone. They have a crisp edge to them, sort of similar to the high mid. The high end continues that theme of crisp, precise and, sharper, but I feel like sharper sounds like a negative word. I would just say that it is definitely not rounded off. So like I said, very precise, but still very natural and overall pretty breathy sounding. This is definitely a hyper detailed texture extending sound. Like it's not going to give you that super soft light on its feet, like, lofty, cloudy high end. This is going to give you like right in your face, up close and personal brightness. It doesn't have like a hiss or an intense shine to it. It definitely takes the cutoff of where that boost should stop very to the right point, I feel like, but it's nonetheless going to have a bit of an edge to it. There is some light coloring in the high end, but still overall the character seems to be extreme cleanliness and purification. For example, I listened to Seb Deliza's album Shabrang, I think that's how you say it. I'll link my hi-fi listening playlist below. You can check out a bunch of different songs. All of the albums I have mentioned in this video, there'll be at least a song or two from them on that playlist. But I listened to that album on these, and it definitely carried the high end very smoothly. It was able to kind of respect the general unique textures of the song, but still bring its own character to them to the right extent. It allowed some air, some breath to flow through, but it still maintains a pretty acutely tightened, specified boost at the end of the day. It's bright but controlled. I feel like it's definitely important to note that it is a controlled high end, and it does not get out of hand at any point, at least to my ears. All right, so overall, the Meze LIRIC is probably one of my favorite headphones of the year. This thing is just simply incredible. It's definitely setting a new standard, not just for the world of closed back headphones, but for the world of headphones as a whole. I guess that's a bold claim, but whatever, I'll say it. I feel like it features the best of both natural, transparent qualities and more enhanced sort of like engaging dynamics. And then in addition to that, it has this incredibly tight, very realistic room feel to it. So, you know, it's got an innovative design and build, and it's got this sound that is pretty state-of-the-art in my opinion. I would say that this is a potential game changer in the audiophile headphone realm, and it's definitely seeming to me like it's ringing in a new sonic future. So yeah, I will link below to my review on this if you'd like to check that out. I will also link to Major Hi-Fi's headphone ranking tool, where this will be up alongside all the other Meze headphones and headphones from every company you can think of. I will also link to where you can purchase this with a discount code, and I will link to my review of the Meze Elite. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This seems like a good note to end on, so happy listening.